Do you think you know your dog? Really? What if I told you that I could be screaming for help, but in complete silence? Veterinary studies tell us something incredible. A very high percentage of dogs with chronic pain do not cry or limp, obviously. They are programmed not to show weakness and become easy prey. But your body doesn't know how to lie. Today, we are going to reveal to you a series of secret signs of pain that most owners overlook. Knowing them could literally change your best friend's life. Stay, because number 7 is the most ignored and at the same time, the most revealing. I'm very happy to have you here. As a dog lover and also a veterinarian, we would do anything for our companions. We give them the best food, epic rides, and all our love. But there is an invisible enemy that may be stealing your quality of life without you knowing it: the pain. Think about your ancestors. A wolf that showed pain was a vulnerable wolf, an easy target for predators. And even though your dog lives safely on your couch, that old survival software is still running in the background. This, of course, depends on your pet's attitude or personality. Not all of them are like this, but most innately tend to behave this way. That's why we can't afford to wait for him to cry. By the time this happens, the pain is usually already very strong. The key to being your dog's best advocate is learning to read the subtle clues your dog leaves you every day. Today, I am going to give you the tools to become its best interpreter. Let's decipher together the secret language of canine pain. Let's get to the point. The first indicates the changes in its movement. And no, I'm not talking about a movie limp. Joint pain, like that of arthritis, usually begins in a very hidden way. Have you noticed that your dog hesitates for a moment before jumping into the car, something he previously did without thinking? Or that after a nap, you get up more slowly as if you needed to warm up? That rigidity is the clear symptom. Observe him on walks. Are you starting to fall behind when before you were always pulling? Or do you suddenly want to come home much sooner? It's easy to think, well, he's just getting older. But most of the time, it's the pain speaking, not the age. And here goes another key detail: his posture. A dog in pain may walk with its back slightly hunched or with its head lowered than normal. Notice how he sits. If you have hip pain, you may avoid bending the joint and sit on your side, a little awkwardly. And be very careful with the prayer posture. Front legs stretched and rear raised. Sometimes it is an invitation to play, but if he does it repeatedly without the desire to party and appears restless, it could be a sign of acute abdominal pain such as pancreatitis. That's a no excuses veterinary emergency. Sign number 2, the sounds it makes. And no, we are not talking about dramatic howls. Pain is often expressed in whispers. Pay attention to whether he makes a small moan or almost inaudible grunt when he gets up, lies down, or when you touch him in a specific place. It is a direct message. Hey, it hurts there. A sudden high-pitched squeal if you touch it, especially while playing, is a giant red flag. It indicates a stabbing pain at that very moment. If it was once because you accidentally stepped on it, fine, but if it happens again, or if it doesn't want you to touch it later, you have to investigate. And here comes the clue that many ignore: the panting. As you have already seen in my previous video on heart disease in dogs, panting is one of its symptoms, but it can also be due to joint pain. If your dog is panting a lot without being hot, without having run, and without being nervous, it could be due to pain. It is a physical response to the stress that pain causes. Don't underestimate an out-of-place gasp. It's one of the most reliable signs. This sign can be heartbreaking for owners. Suddenly, your super sociable dog begins to isolate himself. He no longer throws a party for you at the door or prefers to stay alone in another room. It's his way of protecting himself. He knows that contact, even a caress, could hurt. Or just the opposite can happen. He becomes irritable or even aggressive. The nicest dog in the world suddenly growls at you when you approach his bed or try to put his harness on. This is not that he has become bad. It is a defense mechanism. He is anticipating the pain and asks you, as he knows, not to come closer. It is a call for help, not a challenge. Too many dogs are labeled as aggressive when in reality they are suffering in silence. This is very, very important to recognize. The fourth sign is hiding in plain sight in your routine. Dogs love their habits, so any weird changes should make you raise an eyebrow. Let's talk about sleep. A dog in pain often does not rest well. He tosses and turns at night, changes his position, can't find a way to get comfortable, or, on the contrary, sleeps much more than normal, with an apathy that doesn't match his age. Appetite is another snitch. Losing the desire to eat is a classic warning sign. The pain, especially the digestive pain, makes you nauseous. Sometimes a dog with a sore mouth or neck approaches the bowl hungry, but hesitates before lowering his head. Interestingly, some dogs manage the stress of pain by eating more. compulsively. So any drastic change in your appetite, for more or less, is cause for consultation. Finally, water and cleaning. If you suddenly drink a lot more water or hardly any water, it may be a sign of a problem that is causing pain. And the same with his toilet. If your dog, who has always been a fan of cleanliness, suddenly stops grooming, he is telling you that he is not feeling well or that it simply hurts him to move. Before continuing with the most secret signs, stop for a second. Have you noticed any of this in your dog, even if it's very mild? That little stiffness when you get up? That doubt before jumping? Tell me in the comments. Sharing what we see can help other owners connect the pieces and realize they are not alone. When a dog hurts something, his first reaction is to lick the area. It's his way of trying to heal. If you see your dog licking or chewing a paw, a knee, or any other part of his body over and over again, he is pointing out the exact point of pain with a neon arrow. But be careful. They can also do this by itching your skin. This behavior is not a harmless mania. Saliva ends up irritating the skin, causing bald spots and even serious infections called lick granulomas. It's not something you should ignore thinking it'll go away. It is a constant cry for help. Often owners treat the skin wound without realizing that the real cause is deeper pain, such as joint pain. This sixth sign is incredibly subtle and asks you to become a first-class observer of the expression on his face. It may surprise you, but experts talk about a face of pain. A dog in pain will often squint or have a lost, vacant look. Their pupils may be dilated and their ears, which are normally attentive, may appear droopy or flattened to the head. You can also notice tension in his face, a slightly wrinkled forehead, a tense muzzle, and tight lips. His entire expression conveys concern. It's easy to overlook in everyday life, but if you take a moment to look into your dog's eyes when you suspect something is wrong, his face can tell you everything. And no, it's not your thing, it's not anthropomorphism, it's science. Mammals share many of these expressions of pain. And now, signal number 7, the one you can use as a direct home test. A dog in pain will often become avoidant. The same dog that used to melt with your caresses now moves away when you approach your hand. You can do a very simple test. With your dog calm, run your hands with a very, very gentle expression over his back, sides, and slowly down each leg. Watch their reaction like a hawk. There is a small spasm in his back when you touch there. He withdraws his paw suddenly, turns his head towards your hand with a worried face, or makes an almost imperceptible whimper. Any negative reaction, no matter how minimal, is almost certain confirmation that you have found a pain point. And that information is pure gold for your veterinarian. Okay, you know the signs, you've been watching, and you've got the fly behind your ear. And now what? The most important thing, and I want this to be very clear, do not self-medicate. You never ever see painkillers for humans, like ibuprofen or paracetamol. Some of them are poison and can destroy your liver or kidneys. The first correct step, observe and aim. Write down what signs you see when they occur and how often. For example, he limps on his right hind leg after walking, or he pants at night and won't stop moving. The second and most crucial step, call your veterinarian and make an appointment. Only a professional can make an accurate diagnosis. Treatment can be very varied, from safe anti-inflammatories for dogs to physiotherapy, hydrotherapy, massages, dietary supplements, or supplements. Time is money. The sooner the cause of the pain is found and treated, the better your dog's quality of life will be, and you will prevent the problem from becoming chronic. Your dog blindly trusts you. You are their world, their family, and most importantly, you are their voice. They can't say it hurts here, but they are communicating it to us all the time with their body. Learning to read these secret signs is one of the greatest gifts you can give him. By being attentive to these small changes, you stop being simply its owner and become its guardian, the defender of its well-being. You no longer have to guess if something goes wrong. Now you have the tools to know and act. If this video has opened your eyes, please like it so that YouTube shows it to more people who, like you, want the best for their dog. Subscribe so you don't miss any more tips to help you take care of your best friend. Now tell me in the comments, what new sign are you going to start observing in your dog from today? Thank you for being there and for being such an amazing owner.